And then it's just waiting for training camp for the Bills. And the thing I was thinking about this morning, and the thing the Bills haven't done yet, as we approach camp, and then we'll get to preseason and then the regular season. There is a preseason game this month, by the way. The Hall of Fame game is at the end of the month. And I don't feel like there is a ton of anxiousness for this Bills regular season. I think everybody is excited for it and can't wait for football to be back. And, that's nearing. This is going to be, I think, a less stressful regular season, assuming that something unforeseen doesn't happen, where the Bills, I don't even know what it would be, but would lose 2 years ago when they are 6-6 and they lose to Denver and they're firing the coordinator, and it's like, what is happening here? There was a point in time where 2 seasons ago, their playoff probability was like 30% to make it. The reason I can't see that happening this year is, one, big difference then to now with confidence in the offensive coordinator. I think there's way more confidence right now going into this year with Joe Brady than there would have been then with Ken Dorsey. Dorsey had been here a year, and there were mixed results, mixed feelings on how that had gone. Brady did a phenomenal job in his first full season, and even the half season before that. So I guess the league could catch up to him, but I am not expecting that. And the roster is improved, and they're pretty much a team without holes all over the roster. They've got some spots where maybe you'd like to see them do, better than they are on paper. Safety might be one of them. But there's just not this angst with me about their season. So, not really stressed, but there is absolutely one thing the Bills haven't done yet that I'd love to see them do, and I'm going to be all in on seeing them do. And I put a poll up on Twitter, and half of our voters out of 3 options are saying the same. The reason that this regular season is important is I am all in on getting the 1 seed. Every year we talk about it. Every year we follow it during the season. Something to chase, right? But it's not yet happened for them. And I do think there is a huge advantage that comes with it. And if they are ever going to make the Super Bowl, I think we've seen time and time again, they fall on the road. Often at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. And I know there is also the one time where they did lose here. So, for me, depending on how important you see the 1 seed as, there's also how you see the benefit of it. And I think a lot of people immediately jump to, well, I get home field throughout the entirety of the playoffs. And that's great, especially in the final year of Highmark Stadium. To have home field throughout the playoffs in the final year at the stadium would be special. It would be great because it would set up the possibility of the final game in that stadium's history being an AFC championship where you win to go to the Super Bowl. Be an all-time day at that stadium. One that I wouldn't be able to rival. If you were there during the 90s, 51-3, winning Super Bowl, winning AFC championships to advance to the Super Bowl, the comeback game, you've got a million of those. Not to say we have none. If you're my age, you've got the New England playoff game, the perfect game. But you don't have a game where you want it to go to the Super Bowl. And that would be awesome. But the real value that I see in getting the 1 seed, something the Bills have not yet done, is you are guaranteeing yourself the easiest path to getting to the Super Bowl. And you are potentially avoiding Kansas City which I still want to feel like that is important. Time and time again, they've kind of beaten that respect into you that it would be great to avoid them and to have a run, to have a series of games where you don't have to go to Arrowhead or they don't even have to come here. The evidence of that in the last 4 playoffs, really the last 3 are the big key to this. You are easily getting the best path. You're getting a free playoff win. That first round bye is critical. Free playoff win. You don't have to potentially lose anybody to injury the week before. I think the rest versus rust debate has leaned rest in recent years as being much more valuable. And then it really sets up for the Bills or whoever would be that 1 seed winner to have the easier second round game to the point where you might only have to beat one truly elite team to get to the Super Bowl. In the last 3 years, the path of the 1 seed, starting in 2022, and then I'll work my way up to 2024. Starting in 2022, the 1 seed's path, Jacksonville, Cincinnati. That's it. Just 2, remember. You don't have to play that third game. Last year, the Bills go Denver, Baltimore, Kansas City. That's tough. And you could do that, and teams have done that. I think the Chiefs have done something like that 2 years ago. But that's a tough road, even if they are at home. So 3 years ago, Jacksonville and Cincinnati. That was it. That's all Kansas City had to do to reach the Super Bowl. 2023, Houston, followed by Kansas City. That's Baltimore. Baltimore doesn't end up finishing the job there. They lose to the Chiefs. But what was their path? Beat the Texans and then beat Kansas City. And then last year, Kansas City's the 1 seed. What's their path? Houston, Buffalo. So 3 years in a row, the winner of that 1 seed in the regular season has not had to play anybody in week 1 of the playoffs, and then in week 2 have had the AFC South winner. And that 4-5 matchup, but can't you see that 4-5 game this year being like Houston and Pittsburgh again? Or Houston and the Chargers again, or whoever that second place AFC West team is if Kansas City happens to win it again. The odds of it being like a Baltimore or the Chiefs or somebody, the Bengals, maybe the Bengals would be a team that you'd be more worried about for that. But 3 years in a row, it's been that AFC South winner. And not to say that that's a gimme or that team is a pushover, but kinda. Nobody ever takes the winner of that division seriously, and I can't imagine taking the winner of that division seriously again this year. So, really, what it is you are most likely, if the Bills are able to go through the regular season, they're able to get that 1 seed finally, which they have never done. You are most likely eliminating the possibility that you are going to have to play Baltimore and Kansas City in the same playoff run. And I think the value of that is far greater than even just the getting to play home field throughout the playoffs. But, of course, you get that as well. So, you tell me, how important is this Bills regular season to you? Is the 1 seed enough to be the end-all, be-all of a 17-game slate? Because I just don't... we've talked about New England and their schedule and them coming up a little bit, but I really just can't realistically see the Patriots or the Dolphins giving the Bills a real fight, a real stressful fight during this season. Let me know what you think. 803-0550 is the phone number. Talk a little more on that, on the importance of this regular season as we get closer and closer training camp in a couple of weeks.